Okay. Welcome, everybody. It's really nice to see you. Thank you for joining us for our first/second webinar. Let's say our second, right? Because we have our orientation webinar in which you were able to have a little bit of more information on how this program is gonna work. So, in case you just missed the information for this new special core cycle, we're gonna have webinars every single week, and like the full schedule is going to come out soon. We're still waiting for some speakers to give us the final confirmation that they will be present. But yes, we're very excited to, I also cannot wait to share the whole program that we have until December, which will be very new, very exciting, a lot of good content. And one of the webinars that they're gonna come is exactly this one. So, welcome everybody. We have some special talk and activity in this webinar. And the title of this webinar is The Blessing, as you may already have read. But before we jump right into it, I also hope that you were able to get your parents because the activity will involve your parents. So if you didn't do that already, make sure that you can text them and contact them. And if it's very hard for you to actually have your parents present for tonight, it's okay. We also have a different activities for you, but still regarding parent-child relationship. Before we jump into the program, I would like to open the webinar by inviting our Heavenly Parent so they can also be present here. And to do that, I will ask David if he can give a prayer.
Please join me in prayer. Dear God, our loving Heavenly Parent, this is the first content webinar for this program, this special core cycle program. And yeah, we are really looking forward to the wonderful content given by a wonderful couple. And as this is the first week of core, everybody has been getting introduced to their groups for the first time and diving into the really incredible content from the core of the universe. And I really hope that everybody has been able to already feel inspired by Drew Parent's incredible teachings on the blessing. And that's what we're going to dive into in this webinar. So I pray that you'll be with us and that we can really have a wonderful experience here in this webinar, that we can feel motivated by your vision of the blessing. So, yep, I want to invite you to this really fun webinar and let's have a great time. I report this all in attending our Holy Mother Han with gratitude. And in my name, David Hewish for the Blessed Family. Jew. Yeah, good to see you all again. Okay, cool. So yeah, good to know that some people had a good week. I hope that everyone had a good week. And yeah, we can have an even more enjoyable weekend now, starting with this webinar. So yeah, I would like to introduce this wonderful couple that will be giving the main message today of the blessing. What is the blessing? We're not just talking about marriage prep here, we're really talking about the blessing specifically, this incredible gift from God. And talking about that, we have a wonderful couple who've been involved with High Noon for many years. So it's with great pleasure that I'd like to invite to the stage Samara and Nori.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. The highlight of my week was that our 6-month baby started eating solid food, and he makes a huge mess. Sometimes you find broccoli up his nose. It's like very funny. It's super cute. Yeah, thanks for having us. So as David shared, this is my wonderful husband Nori, and I'm Samara. We got blessed in February 24th, right? Yeah, and we had our first son May this year, 2025. And we want to share a little bit about the blessing, the meaning of the blessing from our perspective. I invite, of course, I know that all of you that have joined the core program are doing so because you have an interest to know what the blessing means and the matching process as well. So I know you guys already have that intention, but we invite you to keep studying, right, and keep finding your own answers. So I want to share. We were kind of like looking into the group chat, the core discussion group, And we saw that maybe it would be good to start from a point of like, what's the difference from the blessing to a normal marriage, right? um, so we want to start from that. I will share a little bit more of like theoretically, because that's what based my experience, right? So I think it's important for us to know and to understand also the importance of lineage, right? I feel that sometimes this is overlooked, but this is the whole point of like why we decide to get the blessing from true parents, right? I bet that you guys have read that and heard that a lot of times, like, oh, we get blessed to be engrafted into parents' lineage and God's lineage, and to like undo what was done in the fall, right? And I think the concept of lineage sometimes it's very abstract. But if we stop to think, it's like if we stop to think of what happened during the fall that everybody knows, right? It was a selfish act, right? And when we think about what our parents did when they first got blessed, it was a completely selfless act, right? They started to want to get blessed or be open to get blessed to anyone and to love any kind of person, right? Regardless of their mistakes, if they were ugly, if they were beautiful, if they were black, white, whatever. They were open to receive that from true parents, right? And true parents, they started that as well by doing exactly the opposite of what happened in the fall, having this selfless kind of heart, right? And dedicating their whole life for the sake of humanity, right? I think I resonate a lot with True Mother's story that she got blessed when she was like super young, right? And she dedicated her whole life to the providence and to serving, right? True Father. And our parents, they came from that same history, right? So for me, when I think about the blessing, I think about that, right? If I am focused on what I want, on what I think it's good, my likes and my dislikes in this more like external kind of way, in this more like selfish kind of a way, imagine if like everybody in the whole world do the same, right? Imagine a society that every person comes from that starting point. What do I want? What is better for me? What kind of things am I attracted to? What kind of characteristics are good for me at this very like me kind of perspective? Versus what if we come from the starting point, right, the beginning of the lineage until like the very end, and then everybody in the whole world has this perspective, like regardless of the mistakes of that person, of the shortcomings that they have, or the kind of characteristics that they have, I'm going to love them unconditionally, and I'm going to unite with them and become one as God is one, right? Uniting the male and female aspects and becoming one. So I think that resonated a lot to me, because yeah, we are continuing this story, right, of creating a selfless, living for the sake of others kind of lineage, right? And I remember that there was one time that my parents, they were, my mom was saying some very harsh things to my dad, right? Like being very rude. And then I looked at my dad and I told him, why don't you just leave, you know? Because in my head it was like, I wouldn't allow anyone to talk to me like that. And it's not like I'm defending, right? I'm saying that you can talk whatever you like to someone. That's not it, right? But I questioned my dad. And then he looked at me with the most honest, puzzled expression on his face. And he was like, what are you talking about? She's my other half. I can't leave, you know? He was like, that doesn't make sense, you know? And then I think that like, struck a chord on me, and I was like, yeah, this is really like living for the sake of that one person, forgiving and forgiving again, and trying to grow together and trying to see that person from God's perspective, right? And I think that experience with true love was what made me believe in God and true parents, right? the I think the turning point for me that I decided that I wanted to be a part of this movement, that I wanted to get blessed, was when I was in Champion and we were doing a 21-day workshop. And I felt like I really was not deserving of being there. You know, I had lots of doubts, I had lots of shortcomings, and I would always hear lecture mothers saying, "You guys are my precious children. You are pure water. You are precious. You are important." And then we would be hungry, and she would send us like midnight snacks, having cheeseburger for free. Or then it was summertime, right? She would think, "Oh, it's very very hot, so I'm gonna send them some ice cream," right? And I was thinking, like, your mother has so many things to do. Why is she worried if we are feeling hot or not, right? And I really felt like I didn't deserve all of that. And then by the end of the workshop, she gave $100 to each one of us, and that was when I used that money to get my certification as an English teacher, and I started my career from that. So I think I received a lot of love, you know. I don't know if you guys have ever had that kind of experience, that you make mistakes over and over again, and then someone gives you love over and over again, and then you feel like that's too much. It's overflowing. I don't deserve that. It's like, and then you surrender naturally, right? So I feel that that's what God's love is, and that's what lineage is, right? That's what God wants to pass through His lineage, and not this wrong concept that we have sometimes, that like having a pure lineage is, I don't know. I feel that because of history, that can have a negative connotation, right? But that's not it. It's really like resembling God, right? And then in my relationship with Nori, I feel that there is this safety, right? That I know that even if I make a mistake, even like, I'm gonna cry, wait. Like, even though I just had a baby and I'm not, like, my body is not as used to be, or I'm not as patient, I don't have as much time, I can't invest as much on him as I used to before, there is no sense of fear, like, oh, he's gonna leave me, right? Because I know that he's gonna leave for my sake, and I'm always going to leave for his sake. So it doesn't matter like how many times I make mistakes, it doesn't matter how saggy my boobs can become, or how fat I become, or how, it really doesn't matter, right? He's always going to give me this unconditional love again and again and again, right? And I feel that's how we did this other part that I bet you guys heard a lot of times as well, that the blessing is not only a couple that comes together because they love each other, but we do that with God in the center, right? We do that to perfect God's love, right? And I always thought like, oh, that's gonna happen if I pray before we have sex, for example, or if we keep our spiritual practices in check. But at least in our experience, that was true for me when I started seeing God in him, and I started seeing him as a child of God, and not like, oh, my husband has this and this shortcoming, but more like, no, this is a child of God, and he can make as many mistakes as he wants, but there is always a path for salvation. There is always a path for reaching perfection. There is always a path for love, right? And for starting again. And then I think we felt that in our relationship, like this overflowing amount of love and grace, right? So yeah, basically that's what the blessing is for me. Right? Do you want to add it?
Yeah, not so much to add. You highlighted lots of great points. And yeah, I think kind of what you mentioned in the beginning, right? About having preferences or find something what you're looking for. Just to be clear, it's not to say that you shouldn't have any. I think God has given us a natural inclination or desire towards what attracts us, you know, and what can allow us to have great give and take, right? But rather, we want to make sure that that shouldn't be the only or even the main factor, right? It is part of the process, but not the main thing to be worried about in the process of developing yourself. That at the center of the blessing, right? What makes it different between just a normal marriage or a normal relationship between two beings is having two parents at the center of it. It's having healthy parents at the center of it, and emphasizing, for at least what we want to emphasize, the importance of lineage. Because I feel like everyone in the group chat that we saw really heightens this point of the relationship between your parents and yourself, and how you can invest more and more. Yep.
Sorry, I need to get the baby, but he will continue talking.
Okay, center stage. Just kidding. I'll always have my other half be with me. So yes, yeah. So I don't know if you guys are well versed in many of father or mother's books or works, but if there's anything that has stood out to me over the years and has come true to me, maybe not necessarily blessing preparation, but more so understanding true parents. And one is the phrase of love, life, lineage. And I'm actually gonna quickly read a short quote from that. It's in the Pyeongwang-gyeong, if you guys are familiar with it, book 4, speech number 11, God's Ideal Family and the Kingdom of the Peaceful Ideal World. And my wife has already mentioned something about the importance of the fall and restoration and trying to reset that essentially and to engraft ourselves to God's lineage. And I want to mention this quote here about lineage. Do you know what has pained God's heart, causing him the greatest grief over the long history since the fall of Adam and Eve? God lost his lineage. And with the loss of his lineage, God lost his right of ownership. Let me talk about lineage for a moment. Lineage is more important than life and more important than love. Life and love come together to create lineage. Lineage cannot be established if either life or love is missing. Therefore, among the three qualities that define the parent-child relationship, love, life, and lineage, lineage is the fruit. Certainly I can vouch for it because my son here is the literal fruit of both of our lineages combined, right? Same thing with you guys. Each of you guys are the fruit of an entire generation, 2 generations, and even more, right? If you kind of really think about that, right? The importance of having lineage. Yes, love is certainly important. God's love, to grow in that, right? And to live your life to the fullest capacity and really seeking that other potential future partner and creating a new life within yourself. And then, of course, creating more and more growth within that couple relationship. But lineage, without this important part of lineage, and specifically passing on heavy parents' lineage, true parents' lineage, your own unique individual and family lineage that you guys can create. That is what's most precious, right? And if I'm correct, this is like the first kind of week into core, so I'd imagine you guys will learn a little bit more as you read in the core universe more about the heavenly sexual organs. Yeah, right. You're already excited? No, you're too early. But definitely not early for you guys. And I just want to applaud you guys so much for taking the stance of even joining in court. And for those who are here just seeing the recording, right? Even if you weren't here live, I pray that you guys can continue to just think about what we said on top of what you guys already shared, what you guys have already known and have a group discussion, or even not yet. No worries. The fact that you guys are even here as part of the program is already a huge leap, a leap of faith in where you guys are going for, whether it's the first time or many more times in the future. But we just want to emphasize that, yeah, in addition to everything you guys are doing in preparation, understanding more about the blessing, I highly encourage you guys to take a moment to understand how lineage can actually be an importance of this, of whatever and anything that my wife has shared about the importance of continuing God's lineage, to how you can individually can cultivate a unique and important lineage. I think the last thing I want to say is, one aspect that helped me understand my relationship with God, right? Because that's a very important aspect of our life of faith, right? To have that unique relationship with Heavenly Parents, is that Heavenly Parent, God, our Heavenly Father and Mother, is unique, unchanging, unconditional, and eternal. Not necessarily the right order, but you get my drift, right? And so if we're meant to represent that image of God, right, we see that in the love, we can learn how to be unconditional. Through the give and take that we can experience God's grace and God's love. And that can be through your older brothers and sisters, your pastors, your parents, your friends even, right? Of receiving that unconditional love, right? And then as you grow through your life, right, you can own your uniqueness as a child of God, as one who can then carry on that unconditional love and really express that towards other people. And all of that connection you have with your brother and sisters is leading up to that one particular sibling type relationship to evolve into your conjugal realm of love, that one spouse, to really offer yourself fully. And then with lineage, that's what creates you as an individual, your family, to that level of eternity, right? Have you guys seen Coco? Right? If you don't have that family part in it, like if no one really remembers you, right, you kind of fade away into existence. But what keeps you eternally is through the lineage, is through going into God's lineage. Yeah. Anything else? You want to say something, Chaka?
That's it.
That's it? No mice? That one. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. I don't know if you want to have final comments.
No, for now, success.
Okay, cool. I guess we're open to Q&A if anyone has any. So thank you guys for listening.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Samara and Nori. That was amazing. Yeah, like I really like how you talked about the blessing, just not only how a personal experience, but also how comprehending how, what the blessing is for our heavenly parent. Then that also helped, right? Like the blessing journey that you had and made you realization, made you keep to like stay together. And so yeah, that's amazing. Thank you very much. And okay, so now we have time for Q&A. So of course, if you have any question, feel free to read them in the chat. And yeah, also just if you want to share a thought or something about they shared, like about what Samara and Ori shared, please also feel free to do so. So yeah, we can just wait a couple minutes. And also, yeah, David, like if you want in the meantime, also share something about what did you like the most about the talk.
I want to hear from Taka. I want to hear him speak the principle, you know?
What do you think about the principle? What do you think about the blessing?
That's so insightful. I never saw it that way before. Wow.
There you
Wise
go.
guy. No, I guess it's beautiful to see the living lineage there in front of you. That's for me, this image, the three of you together, that is the blessing in a picture form. So yeah, it's show as well as tell as well.
Okay. Looks like we don't have questions. So just, feel free to even share them like further in the webinar if they come up. But yes, thank you so much, Samana and Nori. Please like give them an applause. That was an amazing testimony. And we are extremely grateful that you were able to join us today and to share your wisdom, but just, not with your words, but also like as David said, with just this amazing picture that just by looking at you is very inspiring. And yeah, so we're gonna move on to the next part of the webinar, which will be the activity. And we're gonna separate into groups. So the group that was able to call their parents and have their parents present, or also, that is able to just call them and contact them, they will go with David, which prepared a interview activity. And in this activity, basically, you will be able to ask questions to your parents that maybe you never asked before. And you're gonna hear maybe interesting stories about them, and just to create a space where you can have a heart-to-heart conversation. And for the other group who is not able to call their parents or have their parents present, they're gonna come with me and we're gonna have a writing letter activity. So for that, I ask you if you please can collect like a pen and a piece of paper. And if so, then I would like maybe I will ask David to create a break room.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. I hope they had a fantastic activity. So yeah, would anybody actually like to briefly share how the activity was for you? Maybe we can hear from one of the parents-child groups, and then maybe one person who did the letter activity. I'd love to hear. How was it?
Well, on my side, I can say that some people shared in the group chat, like on the chat. And yeah, that was very, yeah, I appreciate it a lot. Like someone said about how they really wanted to do this for a long time, but never really found the opportunity or time. And someone else was sharing how the relationship was with their parents. So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, yeah, if no one else wants to share, then that's fine. I think it looks like people had a good experience. Yeah, I think if you want to do this activity again, then let us know if you liked it, and we can try and do it again. So yeah, thank you for participating. And yeah, I also hope that you guys could take something from Nori and Samara's message as well. And again, thank you so much for joining and for giving your wonderful words on the meaning of the blessing. Before we conclude, I just want to make a little announcement about the competition that's going on. So, as you might have seen, Nalzika posted something about the meme competition that we'll be doing throughout this program. So, if you want to score some extra points for your groups, then be creative and make some memes, maybe inspired by the message from Samara and Nori about the blessing today, or anything from the content, or even if you just want to make fun of the staff, you can do that too. So yeah, and actually I want to inform you that the group that is currently winning in the point system is Yejin's group. So if you're part of Yejin's group, they are currently on top, but it's quite close. It's a close competition. So if you want that Christmas prize, you can keep trying as a team. And yeah, so I think we can officially close off now. And yeah, I'd like to invite my co-MC Nazika to give the closing prayer.
Please join me in a prayer. Dear Heavenly Parents, dear true parents, again, I pray because I'm very grateful that from all different parts of the world we can unite here and spend this time together as brothers and sisters, and especially have time to reflect first on the blessing, which is the immense gift that you gave to us for us to experience the utmost joy, and especially for you, Heavenly Parent, to come down here on earth and live through us and be represented as a couple. And sometimes this may sound like really good words distant from our heart, but I really pray that slowly we can get closer and closer to how you see the blessing and what the blessing means, not only for me, but especially for you, Heavenly Parent. We really pray that as your children, we can experience you in a very deep and way and feel that you're really close to our heart. And one part to do that, as our true parents taught us, is through sharing true love in a couple, Heavenly Parent. So I'm very grateful for the wisdom that it was bestowed upon us also from our parents. And I really also pray that through this activity, we can really reflect on our relationship with our parents and get to know them better, and also get to know ourselves better as their children. And I really also pray that for all those second gens and third gens that have really deep scars in the heart for the relationship with their parents, that everything can be restored, Heavenly Parent, through how you design our family to become. And I really pray that we can become better people to forgive our parents, to forgive ourselves, and to slowly come close to your dream and your ideal for us. And through that, experience the such a happiness that it's rarely known in this fallen world, Heavenly Parent. Please stay together as we with us as we create this community and we keep each other strong and we march towards that ideal. And please give us wisdom and strength so we can really be representative of you, Heavenly Parent, and your dream and your will and your thoughts. And I really pray that we can make action and make reality what you just think and say in the spiritual world, Heavenly Parents. We really want to be those children who take ownership and create that world where you can be with us. And I'm really grateful for all the stuff, like the stuff of core. And I also pray that they can be protected during the work and as they guide us closer to you and your ideal Heavenly Parent. Please also stay close to your mother, and I pray that this difficult situation for her can be solved as you, Heavenly Parent, would like it to be solved. I pray all of this in attendance of Holy Mother Han in my name, Nazika Chinikazi, from a blessed central family, Aju.
Jew, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I hope you all have a wonderful week coming up. And yeah, I'll let you know when the next webinar is as soon as possible. So, and yeah, for those who wrote their letters, I hope that your parents enjoy reading them. And yeah, Azika, any last words from you?
Yeah, just feel free to continue if you didn't finish, or just, if you didn't have the chance to ask the questions to your parents, feel free also to do that. We still always have time after the call. And yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for making a little bit of space to become wiser and to connect to God through art. And I'm sure that Heavenly Parent will appreciate this little effort that you're putting weekly. And we're always happy to support you through your journey. So feel free to always reach out to the core staff or to any other sisters or brothers that inspire you. Yes, and thank you again, Saman and Ori. That was amazing testimony. Okay,
Yeah,
so see you next time. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Bye bye.
take care.